Hello friends, my name is Katie from Eternal Flame, and today I am so excited to share with you all the last of 4 setup videos in my planners for 2023. So if you're interested in hearing about how much I've been loving this A5 size take a note planner, please stick around. Thanks everyone. Before we get right into it, I did want to take one quick moment at the beginning of this video to not only kind of give you a summary of all of the planners that I have set up for 2023, but definitely to take a moment to thank you all so very much for taking the time to join me today. As always, I very much appreciate it, and if you enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you let me know by giving the video a thumbs up and making sure you're subscribed. Alrighty, so gosh, okay, where do I even start? So I have 4 different planners for 2023, and before I broke into this last planner, the A5 Take a Note, I was planning on using the Hobonichi Weeks with this beautiful hard manti cover here as my everyday carry, productivity driver, and I guess main planner for 2023. So if you're interested in seeing the setup video for this planner, I will leave that in the card section up above. But in addition to that, and so I have here my 2022 Hobonichi Weeks that we'll go over very quickly just after this. So in addition to that Hobonichi Weeks with the manti cover, I also have my Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker for work that I plan on pairing with this A6 size weekly supplement. And then my third planner for 2023 is actually this A6 size Hobonichi Techo in the English version that I will link in the card section up above if you're interested in seeing the setup video for this. So this one was supposed to be specifically for journaling and memory keeping because in 2022 I felt that the Hobonichi Cousin A5 size planner was rather large and intimidating when it came to the daily pages. So while I still plan on keeping to that, I have changed maybe my plans and outlook on my Hobonichi Weeks here as my everyday carry. So I just wanted to show you very quickly how I've progressed through the year. So in the beginning, I really struggled to, and honestly to this day, I struggle to use these monthly spreads mainly because of how narrow each day of the week is. Like, I don't know if you can see, I have very tiny handwriting, but I struggled so hard to fit in what I needed in the width that's allotted for the Hobonichi Weeks monthly spreads. And it's a pet peeve of mine, and I'm not really sure how else to explain it. Maybe it's not something that bothers anyone else, but it sure did for me. And to this day, I just struggle so much because I'll put in things here that don't even make sense because I just cannot fit it in the space that's allotted. And I like to have in my monthly spreads bold text to remind me of the important events that I have coming up. And if I have to squint to figure out what I'm doing, it's not serving the purpose that I need it to be, which is a quick reference for things that are important to me and that are coming up. So that's number 1. Okay, so we covered that very quickly. And then let's go into these weekly spreads here in the Hobonichi Weeks. So what I loved about the Hobonichi Weeks weekly spreads was that it gave me a very all-encompassing, like for that week, what is coming up the following week. It gave me an opportunity to journal a little bit here, as you can see here, over here as well. It gave me the space to be creative and use some of my beloved Sticky Club stickers and all of the things. It gave me an opportunity to kind of experiment and play around and practice my, I guess, hand calligraphy and handwriting here, so you can see that here. And it really fit my needs, and that's why I ended up with 2 more in 2023. However, like, it's just okay. So in addition to the monthly spreads really not working for me, I found that the notes pages kind of went to waste. So I actually didn't use them. I use them very heavily in my Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker for work. So, but that one I had no stickers. I kept it super minimal. And so I think that one I will keep alone. Or leave alone, and I will keep my plans for the Hobonichi Weeks Mega Sneaker for work as is. But when it comes to this guy, guys, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do with them. So anyways, long story short, let's kind of transfer our focus now to this take a note planner. Okay, so I went through all that background because I just went in here and as just part of the setup video, I put in some of these Sticky Club tabs here to mark off each of the months. So this one does not have any notes pages, which is very interesting, but not a problem because I have so many bullet journals, including several notebooks from Hobonichi that I'm excited to use. But anyways, long story short, not too worried about that, but I am so in love with the way that my fountain pen writes on this Tomoe River paper. So my understanding is that this planner actually comes from Taiwan and also uses Tomoe River paper, but it's a little thicker than the Hobonichi, I guess, Tomoe River paper, which I absolutely love. Like, I've been loving this far. So let's see how the ghosting is. Not too bad. The ghosting is actually not too bad, which surprises me. Another thing that I loved about this planner and makes it actually difficult for you probably to see as viewers is how light the lines are and the muted neutral colors of everything on the page. So there's no like bright red. So what I'm going to do is just zoom in for you all so you can kind of get a close-up view of the grid. As you can see, it's there and not really visible from far away. Okay, so that's one thing that I love. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll go back to the front and talk about the setup, and then we'll go into this monthly spread, which is the only thing I've set up, but I got so excited I figured I had to film what I had thus far. So the Take a Note is A5 sized. Doesn't have any note pages. It has like a exposed binding here. I don't know if that's the proper terminology, but just wanted to share that with y'all. So you definitely need some kind of cover. I have actually, so I've asked you guys all here on the World Wide Web of YouTube for suggestions, and I received comments and suggestions for the Midori MD A5 size plastic covers, which I actually do have. I'll share that with you right here. Sorry, I probably disappeared for a little bit. So I actually do have the plastic cover for my MD notebook that I was using for school and things in 2022. So I actually have extras of these and plan on throwing that on here, but I also recently ordered an A5 cover from an Etsy shop, so hopefully this guy fits. I don't really know. Okay, so this is my Hobonichi cousin. It looks like a lot fatter, but similar in profile. Yep, the size is pretty much the same, but I just want to give you kind of that comparison here so you can see all the ghosting and see how thin this paper is. So feel wise, it's very different. And you see how it has like all these colors here, also neutral, but then it also has reds. Let's see if I can find you all this red, and it used to bother me, and then like, I mean, realistically it doesn't bother me because look at how colorful my spreads are. It shouldn't bother me, but anyways, it did. So we don't have that here, and so yeah, I have a cover coming. Really excited to share that with you all. I actually was not going to share the flip through and talk through setup video until I received that cover, but I was just too excited. All right, so flipping into this front page, I did a little bit of like journaling, I guess, or scrapbooking of some sort. I've been really inspired lately to do this. All of these things kind of mean something to me. I picked up this washi tape from Amazon. It's like this vintage set, and I've been using all my stamping ink and alphabet stamps from Archer and Olive to just kind of, in all of my planners, go ahead and stamp in my name, which is not in this one. Oh my goodness, this is a terrible example. Okay, apricus, my word of the year here in the front. I also have goals stamped in the back here in my notes pages in my Hobonichi Weeks, which I'm so sad about now because I really hope that this doesn't go to waste. But here's my mind dump, and then I have that again here for my name, and then over here as well for apricus, and which means full of sunshine. I came in and listed 5 different things to kind of inspire me, so to be brave in 2023. It sounds really silly, but I definitely lack in that realm, and all of the things here. So that's what I have. I have, of course, a sticker designed and created by my dear friend Carly, and it says Luna, which is my theme for the year, and I thought it tied in really well with some of my new Sticky Club washi tape here that I also, I had to meet like a $200 or something because I had like a gift card of some sort. Anyways, and I also got these matching tabs that I wasn't sure that I was actually going to use, and I absolutely love them. Look at this, they're like gold foiled, and those are to mark the weekly spreads from each month. So super excited about that, love that. Just used some of that vintage washi tape, some of my new Simply Gilded washi tape from the advent calendar, and all the things that I've accumulated to inspire me in 2023. So one thing I don't love about the Take a Note is the fact that it doesn't, like, all the spreads don't really lay flat. So there's always a point in time where they're kind of stuck together, like this one. This one doesn't really bother me because I'm not sure that I'm going to do much here, but I just thought I'd share that with you all. I haven't had a chance yet to go in here and decorate this section, figure out what I'm going to do with it, but I really love that this exists. So I'm going to bring this up closer to the camera so you can see. I'm going to apologize now for the lighting because the sun has gone down since I started filming. All right, which probably means I have to hurry up. But yeah, so I wanted to give you guys a nice close-up view of this page here. I think it's meant as a habit tracker because it gives you like these very faint dotted lines here. Can you see that? Yes. And not much space, so that's kind of a concern for me, but to track things. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to use this for. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave that in the comment section down below. But over here, I'll probably go in and mark off the federal holidays. And yeah, so one thing that I love about the Hobonichi Weeks is being able to use this spread here. Is it the Future Log spread? As like a birthday tracker. So let's see if I can find it for you all. Actually, I set it up in my new one, which might be a cleaner version to share with you all. I love this spread. This is one of my favorite spreads in the Hobonichi Weeks because it gives me just enough space to fit in the birthdays of the ones I love. I expanded it this year to remind me of major bills, I guess, that I'm gonna have, what months they fall on. So I'm missing the water bill because it's quarterly, and about like what time those bills are due in the month. But yeah, so this is something I would miss if I traded this as my everyday carry for this planner. Still haven't decided, but it's a really strong case for that. And so I'm thinking maybe in order to compensate for that, I could sacrifice all this wonderful space to house the same information. So definitely thinking about that here. But yes, okay. So this takes us into this monthly spread. Now this spread, I decided to move in. I was excited. I was feeling a little bit down, and so my husband was like, you need to go film, you need to go journal, and so encouraging me, and I decided to just go ahead and do it. So I went upstairs and opened up this Take a Note and just kind of went at it, you know, and you can kind of see that I just like slapped the decor together. But when it comes to this monthly spread, I feel like it really meets my needs. So first of all, it's wider. The lines are a lot, what's it called? More muted, so not as bold, which I thought would be a concern at first. I was having trouble reading the font, but to be honest, my handwriting is incredibly small. And so if you can see here, while I still struggled a little bit to fit in this width, I found that it was a lot more comfortable, especially when I'm using my Tombow Funanosuke hard tip pen for block lettering. I found it fit the writing in a lot better than I can in the Hobonichi Weeks, and I loved all this extra space around it. So first off, I have no idea what to use this right section here for, so if you have any suggestions or you want to share how you're using it, please feel free to let me know. But I love the fact that I was able to use this space down below as a habit tracker, because I used to do this a lot when I would bullet journal. I would set up a habit tracker, which took a lot of time. Just bullet journaling was too time consuming. So that's why I switched to Hobonichi planners in 2022. This was so easy. It not only gave me space, first of all, I counted wrong, so I apologize for that, but it gives me space to write 1 through 31 here, as well as a pretty detailed description of the habit that I'm tracking, and the perfect amount of space to be able to use my Zig Clean Color dot marker to mark off those, like, I guess when I do those tasks, if that makes sense, to track the habits. So I love that. Number two, my new zebra mild liners that I'm planning on using, that I picked up off Amazon in these like neutral tones, plus my mild violet or lavender, fit perfectly in the height of these grids. So I love that. And for this month, I used this section up above for like priority task list for the month, and then just playing around with the idea of using this section here as a priority task list for this week, which is fantastic. So let me zoom in for you a little bit. I know the lighting's not great. I'm so sorry. So if you can see this here by candlelight, that I just used my Tombow pen to mark little dots that I plan on putting X's through once they're complete, like I have done here. So I pay tuition and I set up my planners. These are my Midori sticky notes, which I love so much. If you've been watching my videos and you know that this is the newest edition. I don't know if they're on Amazon, but I have the square ones that would fit perfectly in these squares anyway. So this will be on my Amazon storefront if you're interested. Here's a close-up of like how my Pilot Vanishing Point pen with the EF nib, also from Amazon, kind of performs on this paper. I loved that this paper was slightly thicker. It was so smooth. I'm just absolutely in love, both for this Furunosuke Tombow pen as well as my fountain pens. I haven't experimented with some of my other broader nib pens, but I'm just so excited. I'm smitten. So I used this mild liner here in the mild, okay, it's in Japanese. I think it's mild violet that I picked up off Amazon to mark the days I'm in class. They're my school colors, so that's what I was kind of going for. And my DIY planner stickers fit perfectly in here. So I am so happy. And here's a close-up of these tabs here, so you can, oops, sorry. Ooh, lighting's like awful. Here you go. You can see some light left. And then I'm going to give you a quick glance at these weekly spreads before we get going, as we lose the light. And yeah, I will probably have a part 2 to this video to include the cover as well as how I end up using these weekly spreads. So if you're interested in seeing that, please make sure you're subscribed and you hit that little notification bell down below, because I'll notify you when those videos become live. But essentially, instead of the Hobonichi Cousin, which is all 7 days of the week on one 2-page spread, it splits that up into 2 separate 2-page spreads, so 4 pages, and it also includes a weekly that's similar to the Hobonichi Weeks. Alrighty friends, so I would go into more detail and show you more, but as you can see, I have lost light. So this is a good opportunity to take a moment to thank you all so much once again, and hope that I see you again next time. Bye everyone!